Now, the 10-minute drill.
This is a big one.
Brought to you by TireOutlet.com. Wholesale prices, premium service.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hit it.
All right, let's crank it up. We got some hot topics, sports concepts, and rationalizations coming your way. I'll start things off with this, Jeff Prosser. Drew Brees making NFL history last night as he passed not only Peyton Manning, but also Brett Favre. But my question to you is, we get your comments on what Drew Brees accomplished, is when did this become a big record? Like, who did Brett Favre pass? Do you know off the top of your head?
You know, that's a good question. I would guess Fran Tarkenton, maybe?
No, it's
Johnny
not.
Unitas?
See, and I had to look it up, too. I didn't think it was
Dan
a big
Fouts?
No, Dan Marino.
Oh, yeah,
so
Dan
now,
Marino.
like,
I
all of a
actually heard
sudden
that
now
yesterday.
it's become this big deal, so it's kind of weird to me how that works.
Well, I think we're in an era where the passing games are just so prodigious. We learned yesterday that the stats through 5 games, there's never been more touchdown passes through 5 games in the history of the league. It's just ridiculous how productive offenses have gotten. Beef, do you have the clip from the record-setting pass last night? Because something happened during that pass that had a Jaguar fan really intrigued me.
Wide open.
Okay, stop. Why when I watch the Saints, Dan, and I know Drew Brees is awesome, why when I watch the Saints does it seem like 70% of his passes, there's a 5-yard window around his receivers? Are his receivers that much better than ours? Or is the play calling that much better? As impressive as Drew Brees is and has been in his career, that wide open remark carries a lot of weight to me.
Yeah, and listen, congratulations to Drew Brees, one of the best of all time. I've said this before. You don't agree with me, but I think he's one of the most underrated quarterbacks in NFL history and a surefire first ballot Hall of Fame.
Yeah, well, watching last night, it was hard to consider him underrated. He certainly got a lot of due last night. Dan, look, more bad news for the Jags yesterday on the injury front. Not just Corey Grant, but Austin Seferian-Jenkins is headed to IR as well. We already know what's going on with Cam Robinson. He's done for the year. Is there a point where the returns get so diminished that a season that started with promise is not going to be able to be fulfilled?
I would have said yes normally, but I think back to the Packers Super Bowl year, and I remember they had like 13 guys on injured reserve. It was incredible. I think so I guess it can be done, but obviously it hurts, man. I mean, listen, and when they're key guys, it doesn't make things any better. I mean, losing Austin Seferian-Jenkins, they never really got him going yet. Hopefully they can get him healthy and get him back in December. Again, I've restructured my goals after the Sunday defeat to the Chiefs. Not all is lost, but at 3-2, you don't quite have the look of a 14-2 team. I don't have the feeling that they're going to win 10 of their next 11 or something like that. So my whole thing is win the division, get in the postseason, and see what happens. That's how I've always kind of felt. I look for that consistent excellence, and I think if you get to the postseason every year, that's a great thing. But the Jaguars certainly need to make some roster moves. The question is, are they willing to gamble? Are they willing to do something a little out of the box? Are they willing to give up something to get something? Because that's what you have to do.
I really...
Oh, man, I feel like I just got shot in space. Ow! Golly, that thing just shot me. It was like asteroids.
Now starring in Spaceballs. A couple of things there. I wish there were more trades around the deadline in football like there are in other sports. And the second thing is, with all due respect to your hopes the Jags could mimic the Packers and their 13 IR players, they also had Aaron Rodgers.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Jeff, for example, the Philadelphia Eagles lost Jay Ajayi to a torn ACL. So what do? I mean, in other words, are they going to be a team? Like, if the Philadelphia Eagles go and get Le'Veon Bell, we're going to sit here and go, why didn't we get Le'Veon Bell? You know what I mean? So I'll be curious to see which teams who have hopes and dreams of having a championship season are willing to make moves, or does everybody just stand pat and grab practice squad guys off other rosters?
Well, kind of back to how I summed up that last argument, I don't understand. I guess it is the contractual obligations in the NFL so different from other sports. I don't know why we don't have trades at the deadline. I think part of it is with a short season, NFL teams never feel like they're out of it, whereas if you get to the middle of an NBA or Major League Baseball season, there's no doubt you suck. And you're not going to finish the season having accomplished anything, so you're willing to deal some of your players and some of your stars. But, in the case of the Eagles, much like the Jags, even if they have some pieces they're willing to move, what is the market? I do think it's curious that Le'Veon Bell is sitting there, fortune favors the bold. And I would say that either the Jags or the Eagles, to aggressively make a deal to get Le'Veon Bell, could be a game changer for this season.
Yeah, listen, we talked about it yesterday, and I really don't think it's overreaction. I think the offense needs something to improve. They've had 2 good games, and 2 out of 5 ain't going to get it done. So I'd like to see him do something else.
Man, the baseball postseason has not disappointed from the standpoint that the really good teams are proven to be really good teams. The 2 best teams in the National League have won. Dodgers finished off the Braves yesterday. The Brewers have won. The Red Sox and Astros are going to meet. Who you got?
Who do I got to win it? That's a good question. I'm gonna go off the board a little bit and go with the Brew Crew to get to the World Series. I think I'm rooting for the Brew Crew. Listen, they're good fans. They have been to the World Series. I think they've been to the World Series 3 times.
The Royals, yes, aren't they?
Yeah.
They remind you of that
That's
Royals
a
team.
good comparison. So I think I'm gonna go with the Brew Crew. And I think they can win. By the way, I'm not picking them because
I do too.
I think they're every bit as good as the Dodgers. I like their lineup. I like what they do. And, if we get an Astros-Red Sox, I'm going to go with the Astros. I just remember them going to Fenway in September and winning a couple games up there. I think the Astros have a little bit of something going on there, and they look like they're going to stand the test of time. And they didn't stand pat either. They went and got Garrett Cole to add to that team for this year. And I like that they did that. They didn't just roll the same guys out and say, okay, let's repeat. That's so hard to do in this day and age in any sport. So I think I'm going to go with the Astros and Brewers. And while it's not as sexy a World Series, it's one that I think baseball fans will love.
Well, the one thing the Astros have are aces that pitch like aces in the postseason, and David Price pitches like a bum for the Red Sox in the postseason. So big advantage to the Astros there. I'm with you. I'm going to like the Astros in that series, assuming that the Red Sox finish off the Yankees. Yankee fans right now driving off the road, by the way.
Yeah.
We're down 2-1.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I will pull for the Brewers.
Uh-huh.
I don't think they're beating the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers will win that series relatively easily. I'm sick of watching that Dodgers lineup. It is damn near impossible to get through. I don't know how there was ever a stretch this season where the Dodgers weren't a dominant baseball team. They're disgustingly good.
Last question, and by the way, one more baseball note. I don't know if you saw it yesterday, but is it Marwin Gonzalez? Is that how you say his name?
Yes.
He hit a ball yesterday that I don't think I've ever seen.
You just kind of stared at it?
It was like 4 feet off the high.
And he hit it 100,000 feet in the air.
I don't know how he got the barrel on it. Anyway.
He slapped it to right field. It just went straight in the air. I'm with you.
Last question. I'm going to kind of go off the board here and include everyone on this. The power poll comes out later today, and I'm going to ask all of you, and we'll do this later when it comes out. But I'm going to ask all of you, where do you think the Jaguars will tumble to? We'll start with you, Jeff Prosser.
Okay.
Power poll comes out later today. Where this morning we'll have it for you in about an hour.
The power poll should have heeded my suggestions a week ago and not had them so high.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say they're going to go down. I think they're going to be. I haven't added. I'll give my official answer when we do the power poll. I'm going to say 8.
8. Lauren Brooks, where do you think the Jacksonville Jaguars will be in the power poll when it comes out later today?
10.
10. Steve Booty, aka Beef, where do you think the
7
Jaguars will be? I agree with Lauren Brooks. I think they're double digits, and I think deservedly so. I think they laid a stink bomb against Kansas City, and they're 3-2, and all the 5-0s and 4-1s and 3-1s are ahead of them. So we'll see what happens. But that's your 10 minutes.
That is the 10-minute drill. I know how much you guys are loving it out there, particularly the sound effects.
Yes.
I thought that one of the coolest stories I saw yesterday. Came from this UFC fighter who's in trouble out in Nevada after he beat Conor McGregor and Habib Nurmagomedov. Went over the cage, and they're talking a tough game, and they may strip him of his title, and Nevada hasn't paid him yet, and he's got all of these consequences that are coming down on him. But did you see what he said yesterday?
No.
You probably didn't. You're not really interested in this story so much. Somebody says yesterday, and I don't even know where this guy's from, a country literally I've never heard of. Can I get a country, please, for Habib Nurmagomedov?
I'd like to take a guess. It's going to be one of those Istan ones.
Kazakhstan.
Yes.
No, it's literally a country I've never heard of. What is the name of the country, Lauren Brooks? Anyway, let's just say it's the old country because Dan, despite everything that he's facing in the U.S., says he doesn't want to go home because he knows his father is going to
The Sumadinsky district?
Yeah, what is that?
It's from Russia.
It's Russia.
It's in Russia.
All right. Well, then I certainly know where Russia is.
I was going to say,
I must have mistaken his,
I was looking for
state
something
or
trickier because I saw Russia.
I saw him identified from somewhere that I didn't know. Bottom line is he's more afraid of going home and facing his father, who apparently is going to, quote, smash him when he gets home. Oof.
Oh, boy.
Wonder why. No idea how he could have been ingrained with the violence to be a UFC fighter.
But you can be smashed by your parent with
No,
words that
his
are
dad's
worse
pissed.
than but words can be worse.
Yeah, no, he's gonna
than
physically
physical violence.
Yeah, he's gonna physically punish the kid. But he said, look, I like Pops what he said. He said, man, you got to have discipline. I'm paraphrasing. He doesn't speak with the same dialect. He said, man, you got to have some discipline. I love how he said it. You went on the border of civilians with women and children.
And strangers.
So he's he's going to take a whooping after giving one to Conor McGregor.
I got a clip. They asked Khabib's dad what he's going to do when Khabib gets home.
Stomp on his head as he's unconscious.
Oh, no.
Wow, man.
Speaks good English, too.
Wow.
Sounds Irish.
Wow, he sounds man. Keep your enemies closer. This is the drill. It is a Catlin Truck Accessories Tuesday.